Sir, sir, Shankar sir, hello, hello, sir.
Hello,
Sir, the audio is not, it's not coming, sir.
it is not clear.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's not coming, sir. There
It
is
is
no
not,
enough sound, sir.
pardon, but it is embedded actually. It should come, it should play in that. It is very clear actually to me. It is embedded inside the PPT itself. It is just for a few minutes only. I'll just, So you have seen that video, there has been, I think, there is some issues with the sound. That's what the operator was telling me. I don't know why that there is a problem with this video, because when I was playing with Google Meet, it was coming correctly. In a different system, it was coming. The playing was very perfect. So I'll be dealing with the different domains from directly from because I know part of the people are from easy and other people are from electrical and computer science. So I'll first deal with computer science. So computer science, where IoT plays a major role in computer science, how it is going to be, what are the different projects you can do in that. All those detailing will be the ones that will be coming in this slides that is been going through. So I'll go through one by one, the nearly 10 to 12 areas where it is being focused on. So in this, when you are saying introduction to IoT, so Internet of Things, is deeply rooted in computer science. See, in way back in 2007, when the communication and the computer science has been merged together. There was a big confusion between the people in EC and computer science where which one belongs to what, because it is a mixture of so many things that has been coming. So cloud computing, data analytics, security solution, embedded softwares, all these things will be the major work that has been coming under the computers. But IoT plays a major role in this. What is the importance lies in this? So we'll see one by one. System integration is the one which has been the backbone of integrating the IoT devices and systems. Second is the data processing and analytics, which will be large volumes of data has to be analyzed. Especially using IoT devices, we can grab lot of data from various places, and then you can make use of those things in the case of data processing and analytics. Next one is the security and the privacy that has been in the case of your protocols, especially the communication protocols that is being used and the application layer from the network, from the down, from the physical layer to the application layer in the total networking, or what do you call it, ISO, OSI layers, 7 layers are there. All this contains various protocols that is being used. These protocols involves the both computers as well as the communication protocol that has been intertwined between each other, so that you need to have ensure that security and privacy is being ensured completely. That is where the importance comes into picture. Next one is what is the relevance. See, another one is the artificial intelligence that's been coming. Artificial intelligence, in nowadays in all walks of life, AI is coming to picture where Python programming is being used, and then machine learning is being made use of in this case, and then you can have deep learning also that is being taken care of. So artificial intelligence plays a major role in enhancing IoT devices. So that is another area where you can very well focus on. That is where the importance comes into picture. Then comes the relevance and emphasis. See, edge computing. There's one area where they reducing the latency of the system or the networks, because we are doing internet networking of things. So when you are internet networking of things, latency should not be there. It should, because people doesn't have the patience to listen nowadays. They just wanted to get everything, grab everything and go. So they need to spend much time, and especially in the edge computing, when it comes, processing the data very close with each other towards the source. How does it make the processing very easy so that the latency can be reduced? That is then and there itself. This is where, on the go, when you say on the go, you are collecting something. There is one example you can say about edge computing. Next one is the cloud, scalable infrastructure, because storage requirement is very huge. That is, every day, billions of data is flowing in that because of the video data that is being done over the vast internet that is been available to many people. Everybody is creating videos and sending it across. So this is another area where cloud storage is a massive. See, even in different parts of our country itself, the cloud storage is there are separate companies are being developed for the storage purpose alone. So cloud storage is one area where scale for in order to make the infrastructure to be scalable. That's the basic idea for these applications to be run on that. That's where cloud computing comes into picture. Next one is the big data analytics, where you'll have extracting the insights from the IoT generated data that has been there. So big data analytics plays a major role in this area, where you can see the importance of it in the IoT. Then comes the cyber security, where protecting of IoT networks from threats that is being used. That is also where IoT plays a major role. See, what is the justification behind it? When the IoT is being enabled, to collect data, computer science is essential for processing, analyzing, and utilizing the data effectively. Without advanced computing techniques, the potential of IoT would be significantly limited. So, with a lot of infrastructure on the computer related areas, this IoT technology has been enhanced considerably. This is one place where you'll be coming across this implementation part of it. See, when you are doing it, there are a lot of application that is possibility is there in this case. One is the smart cities, which is very quiet. Everybody might have heard of smart city. But what is smart city? How does it manages the infrastructure? This is where the basic problem with our Indian scenario. When you say smart city, if you look at it, the Chandigarh is a very good city, very well planned city. But there also there are a lot of limitations where people are not completely been saying that even though it's a smart city, there are a lot of limitation that's been coming. So if you look at some of the case studies, I will just say I will be doing it in the coming slides, where I will be explaining on that. See, when globally, what is the scenario, and Indian, what is the scenario? If you can see, look at it, you can understand that how far we are behind. So this is where you need to approach the students for developing small gadgets which can be interconnected with interconnecting of these devices with that of the internet, so that it can be used by multiple things. Multiple gadgets can be controlled. How you can make use of that, that is where smart cities come into picture. Then comes healthcare informatics. See, healthcare informatics, IoT is nowadays for patient data collection. IoT is being used by the doctors in a tremendous way, especially in India, which is very less compared to other Western countries. It's very less, but it is still people are working in a larger extent. Next is the industrial automation that is being used. If you see the manufacturing process, if you look at the Dubai like country, they were asking how can we implement. Many people are asking in this, how can we implement this IoT inside our manufacturing processes. See, even in many places, now they started slowly incorporating IoT inside the manufacturing process. Industrial automation, along with industrial automation, they wanted to make this to be efficient enough. That's the basic idea. Then home automation, everybody knows that how the home appliances can be controlled with the help of IoT. Then transportation system, managing the what do you call it, the traffic and the logistics that is being present over there. Even in supply chain, they are using it in a very greater extent. What are the subdomains of it? You can see embedded system programming, cloud computing, data analytics, network communication, protocols and communication, cyber security. Then project ideas that is can be brainstormed by yourself with your students. IoT-based home security systems. See, developing the software for monitoring and alerting. This is one area where you can look at it. Smart agriculture analytics, using IoT data to optimize the crop yields. Healthcare monitoring applications, software and analyzing the patient data with wearables. See, a lot of wearables are nowadays being generated by the students, which can be marketed or make it as a product and send it across. Lot of things have been developing by various parts of in our country itself. Various people are using IoT devices for every 3 months to 6 months, billions of devices are getting connected to the internet. That's why the flow of internet has become very slow. Even though if we are going to the 5G, our internet is still the speed remains slow because of the connectivity that has been always been increasing day by day. Next one is the intelligent traffic management system, algorithms for optimizing the traffic flow in our day-to-day city life. There is another area where IoT sensors needs to be deployed. Then IoT device management platform, scalable systems where large number of devices can be made use of. So what is the impact of this? See, because when you are not providing intelligence into that, then our in the even in the data that is being collected, communication devices that's been used, security that is being used, when it will become ineffective when it is not being done in a faster rate. See, people are moving towards in a faster. The generation is moving at a faster rate. So people try to enhance the things. Even academia is when you compare the academia between the we are one generation behind, almost one generation behind, because the reason I'm telling you, or you can say 10 decades behind, because the way in which the uh, progress is being made in the other universities and across the world, is very faster compared with the things that we are doing it on the academia side. So here is one of the two case studies that I've included in this. One is the global level. You can see the Nest ecosystem that has been used. Google Nest ecosystem that has been used for the smart home devices that has been interconnecting the things for the cloud services and the AI that's been used. Second one is the IBM Watson IoT platform. See, when IBM Watson was introduced by the IBM company, many people were dead against that because the advocates in America will be losing their jobs. They were very much afraid that they will be losing their jobs because IBM Watson is one platform where you can have anything that you try to communicate with that IBM Watson mission. It will immediately give you the solution for that. For in the case of when you are what do you call the advocates that has been cross-examining the things, they will immediately get the solutions and they will be able to cross-examine the things and get the both the what do you call both the parties can be made to be amicably settled. The things can be amicably settled. So the court process can be much faster when IoT things is being made use of. This is where IBM Watson comes into picture. Next one in Indian scenario when you are taking IoT, Infosys IoT services are much faster in this case when you are looking at AI and data analytics. Infosys IoT is one thing where you can have the link and you can just browse through the internet and you can see a lot of information so based on this kind of area. Then the project list which you can look into is a simple IoT weather station. See, I have put difficulty 1 to difficulty 10. What does difficulty 1 to difficulty 10? Most of the slides you'll be seeing is difficulty factor. What does the difficulty factor says? This difficulty factor says is the when a simple IoT weather monitoring station can be made and to a smart city management where the AI can be integrated with such a system and that can be. So the difficulty 1 to 10 indicates that when you look at it, 1 to 5 can be used for your projects in your UT level and 6 to 9 can be used in your PG level and then the last one that can be used in your PhD level. So this is where you need to, as a faculty, you can focus on to this project list which you can take it. Many might have worked on this. Many people have worked on this, and they'll be trying to use this in their projects when they are working on the some papers will be based on this also being generated by many people. So when you look at the tools that is being used, you can see the online tools that is been simulated that's been available. Our AWS IoT core platform that is for the cloud and connecting devices to process the data. Microsoft Azure for IoT Hub is being another one. IBM Watson IoT platform is another platform which you can use of. Node-RED is another interesting flow-based development tool that can be made use of. Some of the free tools that is been available, as you know, it is these slides are very common for all the application which I am going to talk about. So I'll just skip off whenever I'm coming across such things in the repetition is coming across. I'll try to skip off those slides. But the remaining I'll be talking on that. Here, in this case, there is one thing which is very interesting is the MQTT brokers. See, message querying, telemetry transport. When you are seeing the video, you might have seen that communication is being used in this case. So when the communication is being used, there is something called such as mosquito. What does it is not the normal mosquito which I'm talking about. It is called Helix mosquito, which is actually a lightweight transport protocol that is being used for sending the data or messaging the data through the protocols that is being used in this case. So this it's actually a broker that will be help you, or you can call it as an agent that will be help you you to transfer the data from one place to another. This is where you'll be using an MQTT broker that will be coming to you. Then Eclipse IoT is an open source platform that has been used for IoT development. Paid softwares, you can use MATLAB, you can use Visual Studio Professional, you can take the help of cloud services where AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud is there, where you can go. Some of the features will be in the freeware also, it is there. But if you go for the extraordinary features that is being developed by them, you need to be paying for what services you wanted to acquire for. So this is where you can see the software for the IoT development can be made use of. Indian companies are Infosys, Wipro, Tata Consultancy, Tech Mahindra, and in marketplaces from where you can collect your hardware. One is the Robo.in, Tenet Tech Electronics, Mouse Electronics. These are the places where you can. These are some of the things which you can collect all your IoT devices in common. You can collect all the devices which you wanted in this three parts, and then you can easily do your projects very easily. Because I use many of these things in my projects, and I was able to develop so many things. That's why I'm telling you. When it comes to the implementation part, microcontrollers and processors are required, sensors and actuators are required, communication modules are required, cloud platforms are required, databases are required, and software platforms are required. You can use any kind of softwares and hardware which is required, which is likable by you. You can choose anyone which is interested by the students. Some students will not like this Node.js or Java, they'll be liking only Python. Some people will be liking MATLAB only, they will not be interested in doing. So such kind of, depending on the student's capability, you will be able to develop all this and implement this kind of things in your projects that can be used. Then next one is the requirement analysis. What is the implementation workflow? This will be common for many of the things, but the right hand side will be the ones which you need to focus on, because define the problem and requirements, choose suitable devices and sensors, write the firmware and the devices in the backend services that's been required, set up the communication protocols and the network. See, many times when you're setting up the communication protocol, you need to check up your device drivers. Device drivers are one which is being used in many of these communication protocols, where even though you have connected all your devices with your system, it may not work. See, you have got speakers connected. Just now we have seen that where that video, when it is being played, it is said that many people said that your person from your side was telling me that it is not heard. The sound is not being heard. See, when it comes to the platforms, it depends on the platform where you're using it. Multiple platforms takes, so you need to have a driver that has been installed in your system where you can make use of that. So when you are connecting a speakers, common speakers can be connected, but when you're doing some IoT kind of system and then try to connect your speakers, it may not work. You need to have that particular thing has to be connected, and then you need to have your device drivers updated for that, so that you can make use of that. This kind of things, you need to take care of when it comes to your communication protocols and networks. Then the cloud integration, data analytics, user interface development. See, these are all creating a web application or a mobile application that can be put inside your mobile where you can work on that. Then data encryption and secured communication. See, what I'm talking about is a not only on a project that you can do, but you can apply for a funding agencies when you are working on it. You'll be able to give it in such a manner so that the implementation workflow will be exactly the same as that, so that you will get the funding in a faster rate. There will be no question that will be posted for you when it comes to your technical implementation, because you are touched upon all the aspects of it, and you will be giving you, in order to give that checklist that is being required for you, your project requirements, your platforms, your firmware for the IoT devices, with cloud services, data analytics and visualization, security measures, all these things, if you are taking care of, everybody will be able to very happy to give you the say along with that, the documentation needs to be made perfect so that, the project can be obtained. So for applying for funding, never hesitate that you are working in easy, so that you will not get it. It's not like that. The workflow should be very correct, and if you try to present it for the DST or SERP, because being youngsters, I know that most of you are younger to be, so please apply for it and you try to get the funding used based on this checklist and the workflow that can be made use of. See, this is one area where I worked on the smart parking system. It's a very interesting application where it's a sample project where I worked, and I was able to do an IoT system into that. Integration of an IoT system can be made inside. Where does this, sorry, blockchain can be made integrated into that, so that if you try to integrate the blockchain into the smart parking system, if you look at the scenario, it's a simple parking system where you're going to a mall, you're parking your car, paying for that. But if you want to make this slot to be booked prior, if you want to make the slot to be booked prior, you'll be coming from, suppose, imagine that you're coming from a far off place to that particular mall. If it is a far off place, that mall person will also be having an app which is he is looking for whether that person is coming from a far distance or whether it's coming from a short distance. So if the booking is being made, who should be given the priority? This is very important aspect of it. Priority, who should be given? The person who is near to one will be given priority for because the other person at what time he will be reaching that particular place will not be known. So this is where the importance lies in your app development is you have to be ensure that the app development is to be done in a very careful manner. Second part of this is the connectivity. That is, once you pay the money, you need to see that the money is being refunded to the person who is coming from the far off place, whereas the money has to be taken from the nearby person who has been very close to your mall. So this is where parking slot system has to be ensured that your transaction will be taking place between your mobile with your banking system. Then you see, for example, a GPay or your UPI you are using. GPay, it has to be connected, and then from there to the bank, and from the bank it needs to be coming back to GPay, and then it has to come back to your bank. So this kind of transactions that is been taking place will needs blockchain to be implemented, means it will give you a better output, so that the parking system can be made completely foolproof. Security can be ensured, and you can make the and even you can make the testing and deployment of such a system can be easily done. I've just done a small experimentation work on this some time back. That's why I was able to put this in my slide and talk to you in a very elaborate way. So the forking facility that is being employed in this should support this. Then how do we maintain those kind of things very systematically? That's what I'm telling you. When you want to maintain this, whether if suppose the person who is coming from a far off place has already been paid, how do we reimburse him back the money that has been already been done? So you need to see that the slot is been already been booked. The message has to be sent to that person. SMS has to reach that person. It needs to be connectivity has to be established, and then give him the facility for getting back his money back to his bank account. This kind of maintenance systems, is to be taken care of by the entire system when you are deploying it. See, next is the civil engineering. When it comes to civil engineering, what does that civil engineering has to do with IoT? IoT in the construction is one of the major interesting aspects behind it. See, because when you are talking about it, smart construction. See, when you are even whether it's a bridge construction or whether it's a dam construction or whether it's a building construction, whether a lot of environmental monitoring is to be done for the sake of this engineering projects that has been even our metro rails that has been coming, a lot of engineering projects where IoT can be made use of. The structure of the building is very important. The structure of the dam is very important. The efficiency of it is very important during the environmental condition when it is been changing, because the climate is constantly changing. And here, yesterday it was a huge cyclone was just gone through. But today, you can see there is no rain and there will be sunshine is there. So you can see the vast changing in the things that has been taking place. So here, structural health monitoring, especially the issues in the bridges, buildings, and other infrastructure needs to be taken care of. Next one is the construction management that has been, where the project efficiency needs to be taken care of, where equipment tracking, automation, etc., needs to be incorporated in this case. Then the smart cities, of course, urban infrastructure development like your metro stations, your transportation that is been moving, your extension of your cities, all these things will be coming, and how you make use of the resources, that's very important in the case of smart cities. Then comes the environmental monitoring. How do we take care of the weather conditions, pollution, and other environmental factors? When you talk about environmental factors, there are a lot of factors by which the carbon emission that has been that's one of the area. Recently, in the one of the things, Modi has visited this Kalpakkam area in Chennai, where he was scolding the engineers for not, because they have spent around 1,000 crores of money, but they have not even done anything for the carbon emission that has been coming out of the plant. So this kind of things, they are just wasting the money also taking place in India in a larger extent. So this is where, even, some of the project has been discarded because of this, and then try to put new project. That's why, our academia plays a major role nowadays. Academia, whenever you are giving it, if 10 projects out of 10 projects, 8 projects will go to IIT and NITs, but the 2 projects, 2% of the project will be coming to the academic institution, where it's a private institution can get hold of this. So this is where, you'll be able to work further on this area. Then what are the relevance and emphasis on this? Infrastructure maintenance, safety enhancements, resource optimization, regulatory compliance. These are the areas where you need to be much of emphasis has to be given. What is the justification for this? Data-driven decision making is very important in this case for the safety and efficiency of the structural things that is being constructed in the case of your. So similarly, when you are looking at the applications and potential usage, if you can see the various areas, you can see the structural monitoring, smart construction sites, asset management, traffic management, disaster management, all these things will be coming. And similarly, the subdomains will be structural health monitoring, construction management, smart infrastructure, environmental impact assessment, geotechnical monitoring, etc., will be coming into picture. So you can see some project ideas based on this, and you can do with your students on the brainstorming of this kind of things. See, why I put this civil engineering is because electronics engineer need not be only focused on electronics. You should focus on civil. You can focus on aeronautics. You can focus on the basic physics. You can focus on chemistry. Everything he can focus on. He will be the same with case with the CSE. They can also focus on multidisciplinary area, or you call that as a transdisciplinary area, because multidisciplinary in the sense, not only on the engineering side, but also on the science side also you can focus on. So that is where, the IoT plays a major role in this kind of areas, where the structural failures and inefficiencies and higher costs can be reduced considerably in the case when you are using an IoT system. So when you are taking up the case studies, when you are looking at it, the MA bridge monitoring in the Hong Kong's area is one place where the structural integrity has been made use of this kind of thing in the case of civil engineering. Similarly, smart cities in Barcelona is another area where you can go for that, because it's a smart city that has been considered, where they have incorporated many things to make it smarter and smarter. Similarly, the Delhi in Indian scenario, Delhi Mumbai corridor, industrial corridor is one place where technology, smart city technologies have been incorporated, including the IoT for infrastructure development has been ensured by the government. Yeah, similarly, the Mumbai monorail monitoring also is another place where the structural health and operations has been where IoT is being used. These are some of the projects which you can really make use of working on this area. See, I will ask the people to share the slides to you, so that you can make use of this slides for developing your projects and working on it. See, these are some of the tools that is being used for this. ThinkSpeak, Autodesk, BIM 360. The other things are very familiar with it for you, because it's one is ANSYS and the other is MATLAB, which everybody is using it nowadays. The free softwares, QGIS is one of the geographic information system which has been very interestingly, you can make use of that. Similarly, you can use these paid versions like IBM Maximo is one of the interesting place where IoT capability for asset management capability can be made use of. Companies are Larsen and Toubro, Tata Projects, Sterlite Technologies, etc. is working on this. Sensors and equipment, if you look at it, these are the areas from which you can get all those sensors and other things which has been connected with these IoT devices. See, these are some of the implementation where the sensors, controllers, communication module. This remains the same. Only the right-hand side part, you look at the communication modules. Here you can use GSM, LoRaWAN, all these things. For high speed things where cloud storage can be made use of. You can develop so many analytical things, kind of things that will be helpful for developing your data analytics is part of that. So this is some of the software tools that is being used for these applications. And here are some of the checklists that you can look into that same checklist, but with the different ways by which it can be used for your civil engineering part. So this is one of the bridge, how does the bridge is being used? If the bridge is being monitored, how does the structural structure is being used and the implementation steps you can carry out when it is being used. You can develop this into a project in your laboratory, or you can work on it with the help of your students and make use of this kind of things, which will be very interesting, and it will be very applicable to real-time areas where you can really focus on, and you can suggest for your funding from the government agencies. Next one is the domain is the electrical engineering, which you are talking. So in electrical engineering, when you are talking, here you can see where the electrical engineering, because renewable energy, smart meters, intelligent grids, these are some of the areas where you need to look for enhancing the efficiency and the reliability. See, smart grid is one area where it is very important in this case, because of the reason that when you are using smart grid in your what do you call city, smart city. When you're a smart city, imagine that a smart city, the half of the city has lost its lights. Suddenly, because of a calamity, the lights have been gone. So, what will you do with that? So, the remaining part of the city is fully floodlight kind of thing. So, what you normally do is the smart grid has to enable that emergency lights needs to be switched on. For that, the half of the power needs to be shared by this, and very essential power needs to be given to the places where it is mandatory to be given, and then try to make the whole city to be enabled with the power. This is one application where people can really look into it. I've done a small project this based on this into some 10 years back, where electrical people were some of the few people, when they were made to work together, and they try to put this smart grid technology, and they try to elaborate that, and very very well you can make it up, and even you can connect your computers with that, and then try to interconnect between your hardware device and the software device, and you can make use of the whenever you're changing the smart device, you can make use of your uh, control on your system device. Also, you can make the computer to control your system also is possible. So this is one area where you can really do some projects, good projects on this. See, energy efficiency is the focus. One of the focus of this is to reduce the waste, because waste is one of the thing, because people normally put their lights and fans, and they will never go out of the things by switching off that, and they will say let it be on. The management will be paying the money. That is most of the people's comments will come when they come. Why should we bother? Everybody has to bother in this case, especially to reduce the waste. In the case of energy, energy should not be wasted. It has to be monitored, whether it's a home or whether it's an office or whether it's a public place. You need to ensure that energy efficiency needs to be taken care of. Second case is the predictive maintenance that is being used. In real-time data, allows the early detection of faults in the electrical equipment. This is one place where you can really look into another area where electrical engineers can look further on this fault detection of the things that is being there. See, if one of the interesting fault detection which I can say is that when a live wire is then we normally go and check it with a tester, but a tester cannot be used when it is a live wire with the 220 volts is being there. You cannot go near to that with the tester. So what we normally do is we can have a small gadget which can be very easily it can be made, and you place it near that thing. I have used some mini projects based on that. If you go near to that, it will immediately glow the glow, and it will give the alarm that it will indicate that the power in that particular wire is very high compared with the normal power. So this kind of things can be used for IoT, can be made use of in the case of your fault detection also. Then comes the grid management, as I told you in the previous case where I was telling about the smart grid. The stability and the responsibility of the responsiveness of the power grids is to be ensured that you will be able to make it in a better way. See, the reliance or the relevance and emphasis that can be given is the smart grids. Then the renewable energy integration between your IoT facilitates the incorporation of the renewable resources into the grid. That's very important in this case. Second one is the demand response system that has been working on this for the usage based on the supply condition that is being made use of. See, when you want to, for the justification, if you are using, advanced electrical systems can be made use of with IoT connectivity and data analytics for the traditional technologies lack. And you can make of the decision making and the automation that can be made use of. Then, if you look at the application point of view, you can power generation, transmission and distribution, energy consumption. And you can take off the subdomains like smart grids, energy management system, renewable energy integration, electrical asset management, smart metering. All this can be project ideas and brainstorming session with the students. You can make use of is the IoT-based energy consumption monitoring system, predictive maintenance for transformers, smart street lighting, or home automation systems, renewable energy farming monitoring. All these things can be made use of because a solar panel, renewable energy is plenty nowadays. Hydrogen development is another area where people are now focusing on how hydrogen can be made use of in our cars that is been coming. So this is where focus is being now. How does the battery can be made use of? Where the battery can be made from that hydrogen so that you can burn the fuel and get the things done. So how does it is being made possible? IoT plays a major role. Here, when you are talking about IoT alone, not only IoT alone, there is another interesting thing when it comes to hydrogen is the digital twins that has been coming over there. Digital twins in the sense, you can control your hardware device from your system oriented or digital counterpart, which is normally your system or a tab or a mobile that's been used. And you can control the parameters that is been existing in the at the same time, that parameters that can be visualized in the digital counterpart that is being used. That is where the two ways you can have the communication between the device as well as the system that you are going to integrate between the two. So this kind of things is what is normally called as a digital twin. That is one of the area where many people are focusing on. So this if you take the case studies, it is one is the ABB smart sensor technology and another one is the General Electric predicts platform. These are two platforms where a lot of things is being worked out on this sensor technology and the General Electric's way in which IoT is being incorporated in these two areas. In Indian scenario, when you're looking at it, Tata is the one which has been the major player, and the other one is the ESSL Smart Meter National Program that is being deployed in this for the billing efficiency that is being used for them. This is where smart meter program that is being employed by the government of India for putting it in the different households and the how we can make use of that. See, the project list down to the line from IoT voltage monitoring system to the smart grid implementation, you can have all kinds of projects that can be worked out on this. This is one area where you can really focus on and do the work. See, when it comes to tools and softwares, Proteus Design Suite is the one which has been used for the electronic circuits and IoT capabilities that you can make use of, which is very interesting to work with. And another area is the Node-RED, which is a flow-based development tool that can be used. Paid versions are the AWS IoT Core and the Microsoft Azure IoT Hub. The Indian companies which has been working on this are the Tata Consultancy, Wipro, HCL. So sensors and the components that is being used, you can collect all the components and the things from this particular thing where you can use this online stores that is being available. Even you can go for Amazon. In Amazon also you can collect all this and put it in there. Cost will be slightly higher when it comes to your electronic gadgets. So you need to go for the which one gives you a cheaper but the best one, because you never compromise for the capabilities. Because if you go for the capabilities, if you don't compromise based on the cost is one thing which is to be compromised. Where capabilities, if it is being giving more capabilities, try to get the more capabilities thing, because it can be reused for other applications also. See, implementations part, when you are looking at the core components, sensors, microcontrollers, communication modules. Here, Wi-Fi and GSM are the modules normally being used for this electrical technology that is being used. When it comes to the workflow, if you give the workflow like this and see the checklist that has been employed, you can very well give for the your projects can be given for the SERB or TNSTC. All these things can be given for funding. You can easily choose. A smart project is one of the smart energy meter that can be IoT-based smart energy meter, which can be made for a real-time application. You can use this implementation steps in order to make your project. You can make use of this project and you can make it more scalable. If you make it more scalable, then you can even approach electricity board to buy this kind of a product, and or you can connect it with an industry and then try to scale up this as a product and then send it across to the electricity board to get the funding in a bigger way. There are a lot of funding is being there in all walks of life. Next one is our electronics point of view. Electronics is one thing which I know that most of the people in the FDP are in electronics background that is being studied. So in order to enhance this, smart gadgets, very smart gadgets, wearable technology. See, when you talk about wearable technology, it is not only for the normal applications, but also for the people who are impaired, who are deaf and dumb people. There are a lot of people there in our world where they are deaf and dumb, where they cannot use this. For them, if you can think of wearable technology where it is been and home automations can be made use of their gadgets can be fitted into their hands and they can measure even a wheelchair. The neural network based wheelchair is available now. There are a lot of Indian patents are there based on this. That is where you can say when the wheelchair is being asked to move forward, backward, sideways, then a wheelchair will be moving in those directions without any difficulty. Where people cannot see or visually they are impaired, or if they are deaf, dumb, all these people can be made use of with the wearable technology that can be really, you can do a lot of interesting projects based on this. I have done some few projects some time back. Then enhanced functionality can be made use of in the case of devices when you are using an intelligent and user friendly. This is one very important thing that you have to keep it in mind when you are looking at the devices that is being there. Second one is the interconnectivity. Seamless communication is between the devices needs to be there. That is, you need not compromise on the effectiveness of the communication that is being there, being in electronics and communication engineers. Then data-driven insights. When you collect a huge data and try to make the system to be trained in that, so that your neural network can work on that, and machine learning can be put inside, and you can make use of that algorithm to give a good data, so that that data can be reused and again recycled for your betterment of your devices that can be made use of. See, this is wearable electronics, fitness trackers, smart watches, etc., smart home devices, connected appliances, security systems, consumer electronics, smart TV, IoT-enabled cameras. Camera, when you talk about camera, a person is in US and he can watch whatever is happening over here through a camera-based system that is being fitted in our flat system. If he wants to monitor his flat that is being there, he can easily monitor his flat. If you want to monitor his house totally, he can monitor his house totally from US itself. No need to come to all the way from there to here to see that what is happening. You can easily monitor and you can give instructions to multiple things. If it is a completely camera enabled IoT system has been implemented. So, innovative services, better user experiences can be made use of. So here, some of the applications where, the smart appliances, wearable technology, home automation system, embedded system with IoT and automotive electronics, all this can be made use of in your application side, project ideas and brainstorming. You can do it with your students for this. Smart refrigerator, I was telling you, the monitors, in the beginning of the slide, I was telling you about the smart refrigerator, which is a very important thing nowadays. People are started using this smart refrigerator. You can easily find out when you're incorporating sensors inside. You can easily find out from your mobile itself that these are the things that has to be purchased and these are the things that is been getting over. And you need to purchase this when you go out to the market. You don't have to go and check your refrigerator and see whether what are all the things over there. You can easily find it from your mobile that these are the things that is required for that. You need to buy all those things. Otherwise, you will get a small alarm in your mobile itself. Then environment monitoring systems, air and water quality sensors that we see when it comes to water quality sensors, you have to think of two things. One is the water quality in the rural area and water quality in the urban area. There is a slight difference between the two. Because in rural areas, you will be having tanks where you need to. So those filtering of the tanks needs to be ensured that otherwise the people should not be because they are not so much aware of things compared with that of the people in the city areas. So there, the fitting of the sensors is very important in these two cases when the water quality is to be monitored. Where in mineral, in plants, sorry, in mineral water plants where it is being used, it is slightly different. Because when it comes inside the mineral water plant itself, they will be trying to monitor this and find out what is the quality of the water. Because by measuring the pH level, you can easily find it out. So there is a difference between the pH level and you will see they will be trying to purify the water through different process. But that is not the case with that of the rural areas. They will not be able to purify it in a very faster rate. So there, what kind of quality that needs to be ensured has to be determined. So those kind of things, where this can be implemented in a very extensive way or in a scalable way, you can really go for that. See, then next one is the when you are looking at the global level, you can see that the temperature based on the adjusting the behavior of a person. See, when the person is having a chillness, he can easily adjust his centralized AC. See, if you travel in a bus, you have got small vent that is being provided, or in a plane that is being where the AC can be adjusted the right in front of your seat so that you won't get much. Chillness when you are trying to convert. And if you want to have a heater to be turned on, it can be turned on. So this kind of things can be made use of in the case of a Nest learning thermostat that is being used in the global level. Another one is the lighting system. This lighting system, which is smart lighting. Smart lighting in the sense, see, when you are in a high-rise building, this is an application which I have done some time back, and I got papers also in a conference where in a high-rise building, when you are using, you cannot go on top of the 136th floor and then climb over there and then switch off that light. So once you comes down, that light has to be switched off. So from the bottom itself, you need to have a facility for switching off that light. Another application is when you are going adaptive lighting system. That is when you are going inside a room based on the incoming number of people that has been incoming and outgoing. The lighting system needs to be getting dimmed or the number of lights that is getting switched off and switched on should be based on the incoming and outgoing. Another thing is the music system that can be incorporated in this place where it can be played in a louder voice or in a very low voice. So based on the number of people that is being present over there, you can make use of this. In Indian condition, when you look at it, the door locks that is being used, the enables Godrej has been in the pioneers for this in making this locking system. They are working on the smart lock systems that has been IoT enabled smart lock systems is being made use of. Then comes the other Cisco is being used, the lighting appliances that's being made use of. Similarly, the project list, you can go through the different project lists that can be made in this, especially in the electronics point of view. Then these are some of the tools that is being used in this, and some of the marketplaces where you can buy this is. Here, one thing is different from that. One is the Amazon electronics you can buy at websites. You can make use of buying all your electronicscom.com also is a place where you can make use of. Try to make use of this website and try to get your components and other things in a much cheaper rate. Implementation of workflow, you can see this, it is almost remains the same throughout the thing. You can have this checklist based on this, you can develop all these projects. See, when it comes to a smart home lighting system is one thing which you can look for in this case where you can work on this particular aspect. Next one is the mechanical engineering. When it comes to mechanical engineering, it comes to robotics. Say robotics and other places where um, where a lot of manufacturing process is being involved. Machinery is being high tech machinery is being used. Even if while doing in seeing, if you look at the rails is being constructed, they use huge machinery where the system has been, even in the house, nowadays, the 3D printed houses can be made within 3 days. Within 3 days, you can make the entire house to be built within 3 days, and you can finish up the house and make it suitable for the person to live in. So that kind of houses, how they were able to build, because they are making the 3D components being manufactured, 3D printed components being manufactured prior to that, and then keeping it ready. Then they are putting it, but you require huge cranes and other things to process that and make it. Here comes another thing where the IoT plays a major role in the sensors and connectivity in mechanical engineering. One thing is the predictive maintenance for the failures that is been occurring. Second is the process optimization that is being involved in the data-driven adjustments that is to be made in this kind of to enhance the efficiency of the system. Another one is the automation that can be used in the manufacturing sector. See, in manufacturing, if you go to any Gulf countries, you can see manufacturing takes place in almost every company that is been taking place. Every company is nowadays focused on this artificial intelligence as well as IoT in order to make their system to be more robust and competitive. So they are working very much on this. And the relevance and emphasis is Industry 4.0 have returned, but now it is Industry 5.0 has come up. The industrial revolution that has come up in the smart factories that is being used. So the next one is the CNC machine that can be taken care of and being controlled by that. The next one is the automated production lines that is being used in this case. This justification when you are using an IoT provides the connectivity and intelligence needed for modern automation and energy efficiency in the improvements can be made. This applications, when you are looking at it, smart manufacturing, robotics, supply chain management, and high voltage automatic system control systems can be made of this. For the climatic control of the buildings can be made use of. See, these are some of the subdomains where you can look at it when it comes to mechanical engineering. See, never work on a single area. When you are working on an IoT, please go for multiple areas and try to make your project to be much effective rather than sticking on with one electronic area or one mechanical area. Don't be like that. It will be, as I told you, transdisciplinary area is the one which you need to focus on. So the absence of without IoT, mechanical systems lack adaptability and intelligence when it comes to the modern efficiency standards, leading to increased cost and reduced competitiveness. So IoT plays a major role in this mechanical systems also. I think more people will be talking on this areas where in this particular aspect in the coming FDP days to come. That is, you got 5 more days to go, so that they will be talking on that. So here some of the place where the case studies which we can take is the global level. You can use MindSphere, and in a brilliant manufacturing suite is one area where you can think of in the digital manufacturing part of it. And in Indian condition, Tata Steel and Mahindra are both working on this IoT, the automotive and the equipment monitoring stations that is being employed in that. For their process automation and all those things, they are using this IoT in a larger extent. So here, you can see the temperature monitoring, inventory tracking, CNC mission optimization, all these things, IoT can be made use of. Say tools, some of the tools used is one of the tools used is the PTC Wing Work Studio that can be made use of for the creating an air experience like with IoT. So here, when you are looking at this, Node-RED for wiring to the hardware devices, IBM Watson that can be made use of in this case. So then L&T and Mahindra are the two Indian companies that's been working here in this case. Marketplace, when you're looking at it, you can see Monster Electronics is one which you can get more of electronics, which has been compared with the other electronic area. You can go for Monster Electronics where you'll be getting more of the mechanical kind of stuff that is being used. So these are the core components and the key processes that is being made use of where the implementation workflow can be made use and the checklist that is being used. So here is a sample project for the maintenance of the industrial motors that is being used. you can look for this kind of an application where you can apply for a funding in the project that can be made use of, where you can work on multiple areas that is being possible. Next one is the domain aeronautical engineering that is being used in this case. Aeronautical, when it comes to aeronautical engineering, then here you have got a lot of maintenance and other enhancing the safety and efficiency, because aeronautics comes means, definitely these two things will be very important, because efficiency and the operations are very important in the case of aeronautics, because your travel is fit with your how does the plane is getting built and how does it is being used. So maintenance is one of the very core area, then the operational efficiency, then second one is the passenger experience. These three things are the main important parameters that is being used in this case. The relevance and the emphasis, you can say smart aircraft, air traffic management, regulatory compliance, and even for the justification, you can say that the operational efficiency and the traditional system can be made use of in this case. So here, there are a lot of interesting applications you can do with the aeronautical area also. With the electronics people itself can go into the aeronautical side or aerospace side or automation, any walks of life you can make and see that the IoT can be implemented in this. See, aircraft maintenance, subdomains, if you look at it, aircraft maintenance, flight operations, air traffic management, passenger services, supply chain management, and logistics. All this can be used for their projects that can be made use of in your subdomains that you can take. Similarly, some of the project ideas for brainstorming can be made use of, like real-time monitoring, weather station integration. All this other things like cabin services. Cabin services are very important because user experience depending on your traveling of the flight inside. So your passenger satisfaction is very important, and the performance of that by the air hostess and the other co-workers that is inside the flight is very important. They should not get temperamental difficulties will be coming for both passengers as well as for the um, what do you call the airplane field officers that has been working on that area. So those people needs to be in a calm and composure area where needs to be communicating each other for a better flight experience. See, when you are looking at it, airplane health management system, you can take global level, you can say Airbus and Boeing can be taken as an example, and you can just click on to this links and you can go into that and you can see the what are the things you can make use of in your projects and try to develop projects based on this. In Indian condition, you can go for SpiceJet as well as the GMR group of smart airport solutions. These two are the one that is sample as a sample I've taken, so you can make use of this in this case. So these are some of the projects that can be made in this area. Next one is the implementation workflow, then the implementation workflow that can be made use of in the IoT that is been, and what are the different checklists that can be made use of. Here, you can see the aircraft maintenance monitoring system with the temperature sensors, vibration sensors, microcontroller, communication module, and the data analytics platform. When it comes to the satellite, you can even make use of the satellite stations for making use of this. If somebody is in easy is interested in satellite communication, they can very well work on this area also. So maintenance, integration, testing, certification, etc., can be made use of with the help of IoT. Next one is the biotechnology area where you can focus on. Biotechnology, when it comes to the biotechnology area, here there are a lot of interesting because there are wet lab and dry lab. They used to call it wet lab and dry lab, where the enhancing researches is being even recently when somebody came with the milk adulteration, and then you can make use of in milk adulteration, you can really generate IoT devices where the farmers can be made use of, whether the farmer knows that if the milk is getting adulterated by somebody, or whether the farmer is himself has put some adulteration of the water or anything, because based on the level of the pH level of this milk, we can easily find out what is the adulteration that is being made use of. For that, also we can use of IoT devices. I've worked on this a little bit on this particular area in recent times. Next is the precision medicine that has been given by the help of IoT medicine for this personal treatments. Laboratory automation is another area where you can look for this. Environmental monitoring is the tracking of biological parameters in the ecosystem. That is another interesting thing. Biology also can be play into this, because biology, when it comes, drug discovery is another area where you can really focus on, and predictive analytics is another area where you can really help the IoT systems can really help the bioinformatics people that is working on this particular field. The relevance and experience, wearable health devices, smart laboratories, bioinformatics integration. That's what I was telling, combining the IoT data with the computational analysis, which will help them to make things better. So even with the biotech methods, IoT can be made very effective in this for the patients, better outcome, improved, better diagnostics can be done, efficient research can be done on this. So all this is made possible when it comes to biotech. So healthcare, diagnostics, subdomains are diagnostics, agriculture biotechnology, environmental monitoring, industrial biotech processes, bioinformatics, all these things can be the subdomains, and the corresponding project ideas and brainstorming can be done with your students, and you can make use of different projects on this, because there are smart bioreactors can be made by controlling the fermentation parameters and all those things. So when you are controlling the fermentation parameters, you will be able to make use of the IoT to control that. When the fermentation parameters are being controlled, you will not get, you will make your curd to remain without getting that fermentation to go further. You can control that fermentation to be within the limited area by cooling it to a deeper stage. So the deep cooling can be done with the help of this kind of IoT system that is being made possible. Without biotechnology, lacks real-time data connectivity and slowing down research, reducing efficiency and limiting the potential of personal healthcare. Second part is the global and Indian scenarios. If you are looking at it, you can see the Fitbit health devices that is being used. That is a wearable for tracking of the health metrics that is being used. Smart bioreactors for the can be used in this case for biotechnology area. Then Indian diabetic glucometers, is very common thing which is being used. Then cropping technology for smart IoT farming solutions can be made use of. This is one area where you can see the project list is very wider project. Even I only name only 10. You can have a massive amount of projects that can be made in this particular area. Then the different tools that is being used, you can see LabVIEW and BioSpice is one another biological process can be made use of with the help of IoT and all those stuff. Then you can have this MATLAB, all these Indian companies that is being there, and the biological places where it can be used for sensors and equipments can be obtained from this particular areas where you can collect all this corresponding sensors which is required for the biotech area. Then these are the implementation. It's quite similar, but slightly changed in various places where it is in the connected with the biological aspect of it, or in the biotech aspect of it. So the biosensors can be made use of, and so those who are interested in healthcare can work on this particular area and try to develop the things that is being possible. Another is this is a sample project which you can make use of, where the wearable device glucose monitoring system where you can make use of this and go for the implementation part of it using a Arduino Nano can be made use of very easily. You can do all these things and make the implementation steps. Next is the aerospace engineering that is being used, aeronautical and then aerospace. Then comes a difference between the two that is being the coming the very important in this case, because in space when it comes to aerospace, because mission critical applications or operations are being there. Satellite devices are there. See, satellite cannot penetrate into the ground level. So in ground level, we normally go for an LPI radar, or the low probability interface radar is being made use of, where it can penetrate even into the building, even from one room to another. You can penetrate, and all these things can be made possible. So mission efficiency is the one which will be looking for as an importance in this case. Predictive maintenance as usual, and then the enhanced communication. These three are the very important in this part. See, when it comes to the IoT, satellite IoT, this is one area where many easy can focus on this aspect. Then the spacecraft system monitoring. As I told you, LPI radar, why it is being used? Because LPI radar can penetrate and find out the bodies that is being buried underneath the ground. Similarly, from one room to another, even the wall can be penetrated. That kind of sensing devices or radar signals can be capable of, but only in a very low level. So this you can see for the ground station integration, that is seamless communication protocols which be used in this case. Even in aircraft, this is being integrated. See, despite these advanced aerospace technologies, IoT introduces enhanced connectivity and data analytical capabilities also. Mission planning, improved safety, more efficient operations beyond the Earth's atmosphere. All this can be done in this case. So here, when you're looking at the applications, satellite communication, remote sensing, astronaut health monitoring, spacecraft health monitoring, all this will be the various applications that is being subdomains are satellite technology, space exploration, ground station systems, remote sensing, operations, spacecraft design, maintenance, all this can be done. Project ideas, you can have the satellite IoT-based satellite monitoring, debris tracking system. That's a very interesting debris. Debris in the satellites is a very major thing where IoT can play. So even you can connect it with DRDO, and you can easily get projects based on this. How do we get rid of this debris that is being used in the space? Because a lot of debris is there. How we can explore this debris and disintegrate this debris without even coming and hitting the satellites that is been going through the various orbits. So this is another area where you can see the effectiveness of the space operation that is being improved when you are using a IoT-based aerospace systems. See, these are some of the projects that you can think of based on the difficulty factors that is being used. NASA's Deep Space Network, then SpaceX Starlink, ISRO satellite IoT initiatives, Belarus Aerospace, all these things are the various things where the IoT is being used in an extensive way. These are some of the tools you can make use of, where systems toolkit or NASA's OpenMCT, CubeSat simulators. CubeSat, when you're talking about CubeSat, CubeSat can be easily manufactured by the students, and you can deploy it so that the drones can take this CubeSat and take the environmental monitoring is also possible with the help of this CubeSat. That's another advantage with this kind of projects that you can look for. Then where the marketplace are ISRO's Antrix Corporation, RS Components India, Mozilla Electronics, all these places you can collect all this necessary things that is being required for your experimentation. This is the workflow for that corresponding and the corresponding checklist. I'll skip this because it's the same as the previous one. Only thing is it is having a slight changes in here and there. Then the IoT enabled CubeSat for Earth observation. This is one interesting thing you can implement it in your departments, where you can think of a CubeSat, and then the CubeSat can be taken by the small what do you call glider, or by a drone that can carry this and then make use of, and correspondingly you can monitor the environmental structure. Then you can take even the photograph of the places that is being there. So all this can be done with the help of this mission operations, can be done with the help of this CubeSat that has been IoT enabled. Next is the science related thing. The domain is mathematics. When it comes to mathematics, it is a foundation of science. Without mathematics, nothing is impossible. Because without anything, because you cannot do anything, because every place you need to have mathematics. Otherwise, the world is a big zero, because everything has to be related with mathematics. So here, how does IoT plays a role in this? Here, in optimizing the networks, especially in data security, optimizing the networks, all these things will be the data analysis is the fundamental part when it comes to the meaningful insights can be obtained with the help of IoT. Then algorithm development can be made use of when it comes to the IoT applications. Then optimization can be made use of with the help of IoT. Further, the statistical analysis can be made use of by processing and analyzing large data sets from IoT devices. Cryptography can be made use of in securing IoT communication. Modeling and simulation can be made use of with the IoT systems. See, even with the help of your system optimization, security, and which are indispensable in the IoT landscape, you can very well use this kind of things. Similarly, in the statistical analysis, all the subdomains are there, the educational tools have been given, the corresponding projects has been given, and then the impact of the absence. Why, when it is been absent, what happens to the mathematical structure that is being used? So this, when you lack this, there are a lot of difficulty when it comes to mathematics. IoT-enabled system will help you to enhance your things in your cryptographic places and other things, which will make you to see that security measures and ability to analyze will be much effective. Command interpreting of the data can be enhanced. So when you look at the Google PageRank algorithm, RSA crypto system, Advanced Institute of Mathematics, CRO in India, and ISC Bangalore IoT research is very much in deeper. So you can see some of the projects that can be done with the help of this mathematics in IoT. You can make use of this, and you can do a lot of projects in this. So when it comes to the software development of IoT, you will see this Python, RStudio, Octave, all these skills can be, even MATLAB can be used for instead also that can be used as a tool for the instead of Octave. That also is possible. Then there is Mathematica, Maple, all these are paid software that is being used for the IoT devices to be, a lot of research can be worked on that. Then you'll have the education resources like MathWorks India, Coursera, edX, and all these are the education resources that's been available. Some of the checklists that is being used in this case, how does the workflow that can be incorporated in the IoT devices is doing this problem identification, data collection, model development, simulation and testing, optimization and deployment. All this can be done in this case of mathematics. Then comes the sample project implementation, encryption algorithm for secure IoT communication. See, secure IoT communication is very important in this, in every aspects of life. You need to have this components and its corresponding implementation steps is required for your mathematical algorithm is required in all aspects of the secure data communication. Next is the domain is physics. Physics area, when you're looking at the physics, it can have the monitor environmental conditions. Remote experiments can be done with the help of the IoT. Physics can be able to work with this. So data acquisition, remote monitoring, automation, etc., can be made use of it. This important. There's relevance of physics in the IoT that has been coming over this. Relevance of this in astrophysics, particle physics, environmental physics, all these things, all these three places, IoT can play a major role in this area. See, even with the sophisticated instruments, IoT introduces connectivity and automation, which are crucial for advancing the physical sciences that is being made, used in our day-to-day activities. So that is also where you can have this real-time analysis can be done and experimentation on the IoT can be made use of. IoT is there in all walks of life. You can really go into that. So you can, these are some of the subdomains, and these are some of the project ideas for brainstorming can be made use of in this case. So the absence will give you to a lack of inefficiency. Remote experimentation cannot be made possible. Then large scale integration cannot be done. All these things can be coming in this picture. Then when it comes to the different global and local scenario, you can see CERN's Large Hadron Collider is one of the area where we can use a lot of monitoring and controlling particle accelerators. This is where neutrons. Nowadays, people are working more on the neutron part of that instead of electron, proton, and other things. They are working more on the neutron side of it, where it can be made to be energized. How does neutron can be made energized? That's where people are now working on this area. So Indian Neutrino Observatory is one thing where IoT sensors are being very much used in this case. Similarly, ISR satellite missions also they employ IoT devices for data collection and communication. So this is where the different projects can be done based on this. So in this, when you're looking at COMSOL is one of the area where you can work on the physics. COMSOL multiphysics is one which even electronics people are using now COMSOL for developing so many things in that particular area where you can even your actuators when you are working on actuator like sensors, there is actuators. The actuator means when you are working in electromechanical stuff. When you are converting an electrical energy into mechanical energy, how does a spring action works? That's where an actuator means. This actuator can be especially in a bonnet of a car when it is being lifted. What happens? The bonnet will be automatically open, or you're just pressing a button, the bonnet is automatically. How does it releases that? How does it comes and opens it to the fullest thing, and when you're pressing the button, it will come and closes it. How does it do that? Those kind of things, requires compound multiphysics. They design it in compound multiphysics and then take it into the real-time application and try to put it and where IoT can play a major role in controlling this application of this. So this can be where you can get this Apex Instruments, Pasco Scientific and Scientific Equipment India, where you can collect all this details or what do you call it, the equipment that is required for the experimentation in the physics area. These are some of the implementation workflow and where you can look for it and what are the different checklists that has been employed in this. Then there's a sampling IoT-based environmental physics monitoring station is one of the interesting setup where you can really work on this particular project that you can make use of and do your project. Next is the chemistry point of view. The chemistry, when it comes to chemistry, there is a lot of other interesting thing is the controlling over the experiments. Chemistry, when it comes, hydrogen plays a major role. Hydrogen is now the most of the people will be working on hydrogen where they want to develop hydrogen, they want to create hydrogen, and they want to control it with the help of hydrogen. They want to control the cost, control various gadgets, control various processes. All this has to be time. So automation is the one which is they are looking for. Then safety is another mechanism where they are to prevent the accidents that is been occurring. Then data collection, because hydrogen can be pumped in many places where it can be the extinguishers can be made use of. That is where hydrogen is being made use of in this case. So in the such kind of applications also, for analysis and optimization also, this IoT can play a major role. Chemical manufacturing, environmental chemistry, analytical chemistry, and some of the data-driven insights into the chemistry can be enhanced with the help of IoT connectivity. So when you are using it, in your application domain, laboratory automation, process chemistry, environmental monitoring, pharmaceutical area, drugs where, the drug discovery and data analytics plays a major IoT plays a major role in that. How to collect the drugs and how to make use of that. Whether it is being able to see one of the robot that is being developed by this IoT enabled robot that is being developed by it's called by Japan, which is called as Eve robot. This Eve robot is the one which is find out that there is a bacteria that can kill the kill the malaria that is been there in our toothpaste that is being founded by Eve robot. So this kind of mechanism will help you to find more and more excavations and more scientific researches and scientific advancement can be made possible in this particular area. Smart lab equipment, chemical storage monitoring, air quality devices, automated chemical synthesis, etc. can be done on this. So these are the project lists which I can tell you about this, in which where the different types of projects can be made use of in your laboratory, and your students can do all this project based on the difficulty of their levels. This some of the software tools that has been ChemDraw, LabVIEW, Aspen Plus. These are some of the chemistry tools that has been can be made use of. LabVIEW, MATLAB, and Aspen Tech software are some of the paid ones that has been used in this case. Indian companies that is used is Honeywell India and ABB are one. It's an example because there are a lot of pharmaceutical companies who are using this kind of things. Then you can get those requirements from the Thermo Fisher Scientific India, Signal, Rich, and Agilent Technologies. So when it comes to your workflow and IoT implementation, you can look for the identifying the process, hardware selection, software selection, safety checks, testing and validation, etc. can be made use of with this help. So the checklist can be made use of in the from this you can make use of the projects that workflow can be made by understanding how does it whether the students have committed some errors or not. We can easily find out. So this is a sample project where the chemical reaction monitoring system is being used, where the sensors, actuators, and implementation setup is being shown. So you can see that how does it we can make that thing to work on it and find out what is the pH level and other things on this. Even you can use a warehouse system for developing such a food technology can be incorporated in this, and you can make use of this for your pH level monitoring of their food system in a warehouses that can be made as a project also. That is another project which you can think of. Another one is the domain in the English language. People will be laughing where the English language, how does IoT plays a major role? IoT can even use see, for example, your Amazon, Google, Alexa, all these are IoT devices where it will be communicating with you in a wirelessly, you're communicating with that thing where, what is the importance of that? Because language learning, accessibility, content delivery. So these are the areas where you can see that how does the speech technology can be converted and make use of in your real-time application. See, NLP, natural language processing is being made use of with the help of IoT. So smart classrooms, natural language processing, voice assistants, all this can be enabled when you are having it, and you can have an education system. That is what we have seen in that video. How does the education system can be enriched with the help of your English when IoT is being enabled inside our classrooms, and how we can make use of the things inside the education field. So this is where the communication protocols also plays a major role in this. Here the protocols and the conventional methods, is going beyond imagination, because speech therapy is one the area where a lot of work is going on. Even the dumb people can will be able to talk something. Even by their brain, they can connect, and the voice can be converted to voice, and then what they are thinking, they can be converted. All these things is being coming up with the realistic way very very fast by the incorporation of the IoT in um, English. Then the language learning, education, assistive communication devices, interactive storytelling, content creation and editing, voice control application. Our advertising also plays a major thing when it comes to your advertising. This IoT kind of thing is also playing a major role in this area. So the projects, this can some of the projects that can be brainstormed with the help of your students, and you can work out on this. How we can small gadgets if you develop and then try to project it into the outside world by putting it into that, the companies will be coming to you, and then you can have a product can be developed based on that, and then that product can be sold out in the market, and you can really small startups can be, even the students can be encouraged to be an entrepreneur and try to develop small products of this kind. So here are some of the places where the global markets and the Indian market that is being used. Qatar Digital Labs, English helpers, read to me, then Google Assistant, interpreter mode. Then see, nowadays everybody uses ChatGPT for working on many things and other things. Even the AI is to be made use of in all walks of life. AI to be, even students are nowadays using for even writing their assignments and all. But we can easily find out by looking at it whether it's a artificially created or it's not an artificially created one. We can easily find it out. If there are a lot of tools that has been available nowadays for checking all those stuff. So the tools, software, and resources that's been used, voice flow, Alexa skill set, Google Action Console, all this can be. Some of the free softwares are dialog flow, TensorFlow Lite, Arduino IDE, all this can be used for your purpose of developing this IoT in English literature. So these are some of the workflow implementation workflow that is being used, and these are the checklists that can be made use of. Say then sample project and language learning systems can be made use of with the help of the smart speaker platforms. Software platforms are Alexa, Google, and other things. We can use different kinds of things. Nowadays, everything is being coming up in a very faster rate. People are developing this. Emails are being nowadays very fast. They will be able to speak. They can make use of the instead of typing, you can make that to type by itself. All these things can be done by using this kind of IoT developed stuff that can make the project be smarter. Then in the agriculture field, this is one area where many people will be interested in, because soil moisture sensors, weather stations, drones, it's a smart irrigation, where the farmers can really take out the data and they're using this. Precision farming is one area where satellite can be made use of. Satellite imagery can be taken, and then precision farming can be made use of by the use of machine learning, and then using that resources to find out the how to reduce the waste in that particular field. What is the amount of water that is required, when the water is required, and how much water is required, and what is the level of what is required, and how does the lowering the cost. Here in the Tamil Nadu, I've seen one of the farms where IoT system is being established in all the areas, and he is controlling everything from his laptop, and he is having a 10 acres of land where the farming is being done in an extensive way. He is doing all the things wherever he wants to incorporate technology, he is incorporating technology and make use of the farming that is being used. In reality, you will be able to monitor all his, he has got mangoes, various types of vegetables, then paddy fields, all these things are there. Everything is being monitored with the help of this IoT enabled technology where the precision farming can be done in an extensive way. Especially, people in your area, in the area of where the institute is, many of the faculties will be able to work on this particular aspect of this in a much effective way. So the relevance and emphasis is smart farming. Sustainability is one thing where IoT aids in reducing the environmental impact. See, when it comes to environmental impact, birds that has been coming to destroy the crops can be even made to fly off. Without birds, will not be able to come. If you are, it's an IoT enabled devices can be made use of. When the birds are about to launch, then you can just press the button by pressing a button itself. You can make the birds to run away or fly off. Even the pesticides, can be sprayed onto that field where the mouse and rats can be made to run away. All this can be done with the help of IoT systems. Electricity can be made to flow through the wire lines where the elephants and other things will be going away from those kind of things. Those kind of interesting applications we can easily make it for the smart farming to be enabled. This is a yield improvement is another area where crop quality and quality of the from the camera that is being used for capturing the see, for example, the lady's finger that is being used, you'll be capturing the diseases that is being found there in the leaves of it, and then try to overcome it by that. That is also where IoT can play a major role in this area. Where botanists are working on this particular aspect of it, but electronics people can work on this along with the botany people to see all this can be made for the precise management of this. So traditional farming relies mostly on the manual monitoring, but whereas in this kind of things, IoT enabled ones will give you a better yield and the resource conservation can be made use of. So precision agriculture, smart irrigation, livestock monitoring, agriculture drones, supply management. I think in the Pusandra area, there is an IoT-based cattle farm where they are farming the cattle with the help of IoT-enabled system. That is, the sensors are being fitted in the cattle and they are made to roam around, and they will even monitor the how much milk they are going to provide, and all this detailing can be taken from their IoT devices, and then they can easily found out whether there is any cattle that is being lost or that has been taken away by somebody. All this can be found out. So IoT-based soil monitoring system, auto irrigation controllers, livestock irrigation controllers, livestock tracking devices, crop disease detection, smart greenhouses, all this can be done. So some of the global case studies are the Precision Agriculture by John Derry, climatic field view by the digital platform for analyzing the field data. Then Indian conditions, digital agriculture platform by the Equity and the Fussel that is being used for the real-time monitoring of IoT devices. They make use of this for their farming things. Some of the projects that is being listed out based on the difficulty you can make work on this particular area. Then these are the software tools that is being used on this, and then these are the Indian companies that has been working. Then agriculture areas where the IoT can be found. These are the marketplace from which you can get the kits, sensors, and other things from this for the IoT farming. These are the implementation workflow that is being used here. You can see LoRaWAN, all the communication modules that is being available, readily available nowadays for the farmers to work with. No need for you to create something, or you can easily get the kits also, and you can work on that kits and make use of that for your detailed farming can be done. So these are some of the sensors that has been used, components that's been used, and the implementation steps that is been can be integrated on that. Next is the environmental science that is being used. Pollution is one of the area where automated responses of the environmental changes, IoT devices, water quality, wildlife trackers, weather stations, research conservation, etc., where IoT can be made to be. Even pollution can be made use of even in the automotive side. Also, you can make use of pollution. Controlling IoT with the help of that is you can track where the whenever there is a pollution that is all the sound pollution that is been taking place in the junctions of the city there when you are coming from a longer distance and you don't have to cross that traffic junction, you can bypass it and go for a different direction so that you will be able to escape from the pollution by knowing that there is a traffic congestion that is being taking place. This can indirectly connect between these two that can be made use of for this kind of applications. So real-time data, then large-scale monitoring, conservation efforts that has to be used in ecosystems for wildlife as well as in the city life. We can make use of this kind of applications where environmental can be made use of for your IoT system. IoT system can be made of the environmental parameters can be checked over a period of time. Climatic change monitoring, pollution tracking, biodiversity conservation, all this can be assisted with the help of these IoT devices that can be generated. See, this will help you to make the take care of the environmental issues in a major environmental issues can be taken care of with the help of IoT devices that can be generated. See, these are some of the things where you can work on this. Some of the challenges, and these are some of the case studies where say smart citizen project, WW wild trafficking system, Ozium's air quality monitoring, Ambis environmental data, all these things are, you can just go into that. I've just highlighted that so that you can go to the various links and find out what they are doing and how we can incorporate all this in our make the gadgets to be of a low cost so that low cost IoT devices where it can be deployed by the startup companies, and you can give it to those companies to technology can be transferred to them and they can make use of that for mass productions. So this is another some of the tools that is being used for this air quality community-led air quality monitoring project. Egg quality can be measured. How does the egg quality can be measured with the help of this? Whether there is a one bottleneck can be found out from the basket of egg, and then you can easily find out whether the pack is rotten, just like the way you will be using with tomatoes and other things. Then these are some of the platforms where you can make use of checklists. These are the sensors that is been used in this particular air quality monitoring system, a sample project implementation. Thank you. I think exactly I've taken 2 hours of time.
Thank you, sir, for delivering such an
Thank you, sir.
insightful
Thank
and
you.
engaging
Thank you, sir.
presentation.
Please
Your
share
expertise
this.
has truly enriched our understanding and provided valuable perspectives for research and innovation, sir. So now I invite the participants to ask any queries related to the sessions.
If you got any queries, please ask.
Participants, now you can ask the queries to the resource person, Dr. Shankar, sir.
Any questions, please ask, because I have given you a complete overview of the entire
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
where the IoT can be made use of.
Yes, sir. Okay, so I hope there are no queries. It seems the session was quite clear and comprehensive, sir.
Okay,
Now
so
I would like to
I have
invite our respected HOD, sir. Sir.
only
Sir,
one
please tell.
request is faculty should make use of the entire slide. So please share the slides with the faculty.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure thing, sir. Sure, sir.
Not the
We'll be
recorded
sharing
one.
the
You
PPT.
share them with
Yes,
that
sir. Yes, sir.
complete PPT.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. Now I'd like to invite our respected HOD, sir, to deliver the vote of thanks. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you, Shankar sir. So very nice presentation. So broad view of and you are covering all engineering courses, how IoT is used in a particular applications.
Yeah, all engineering, not only engineering, but also basic
Medicine
sciences.
also, medical also you are covering. Anyway, on behalf of everyone present here, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to you, sir, for delivering such a enlightening session on IoT application across engineering and biotechnology domains. Your insights on the project ideas, case studies, and practical applications have provided immense value and inspiration. Your expertise has broadened our understanding of how IoT can drive innovation and solve real world problems. We deeply appreciate the time and effort you have dedicated to sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you once again for our valuable contribution and for making this FTP truly enriching. We hope to collaborate again in the future, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, guys.
The participation.
Sir, can I leave? Can I leave? Or
Can leave, sir, no problem. Can leave. So, my dear participants, shortly feedback from can send to you and attendance form
if you
also.
got any feedback, please give.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
I'll be happy to hear from the participants rather than from you.
No, sir. No, sir. And
Yes, sir.
actually,
Sure,
our
sir.
YouTube strength may be reach 100, and after that, your lecture may be on YouTube also. It will be available for the users.
Okay.
Both
fine.
YouTube and so later on it will be observed on YouTube also.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway, thank you, sir. Please.
Thank you so much, sir. And I thank participants for your active involvement. And I request all the participants to go through the WhatsApp group and fill the feedback form. Thank you, sir. And thank you all the participants. Thank you so much. We appreciate your valuable time. Thank you. Now you may leave, dear participants. Now may you leave.